Hello there, and welcome to the latest video in my series, How to Run Cyberpunk Red. The focus is still on character creation, and this time I'm diving into the gear and clothing options available. This is going to be a relatively short video since there's not a large amount to cover. Let's dive into it. In the dystopian future of Cyberpunk Red, most people don't have the comfort of a stable place to call home. A significant portion of the population in Night City live in cube hotels or cargo container homes, which doesn't leave a lot of space for personal belongings. A character's gear tends to be what they can carry on them at any given time that they need for everyday survival. In the core rulebook, link for the PDF is available in the description below. The term gear and outfit are interchangeable, so I'll be using both over the course of this section. Typical items characters will have in our outfit are items like an agent, a high-tech smartphone with built-in semi-functional AI bots, portable food such as kibble packs, disposable phones, and probably a carry-all bag for everything that's either a full duffel bag or a backpack. The full list of items can be found on pages 100 and 101 in the core rulebook. Each of the items has a brief description and a Eurobucks cost associated with them. The prices range from everyday items that can be easily purchased to very expensive items that will require access to a fixer to get a hold of. As a general rule, players should not have access to anything with a price category above premium, 100 Eurobucks, at character creation, unless the character is a fixer. Outfit options range in utility from simple, such as the agent I mentioned above, to computers and flashlights, all the way up to items that specific roles would want to gain access to as soon as possible, like tech scanners or med scanners. All of the items serve a purpose in Cyberpunk Red, even if it's something as simple as glow paint for your rocker boy street artist who wants to tag a building with their art. One thing I would suggest game masters of a Cyberpunk Red game emphasize to their players is to step away from the mindset of combat-focused narratives. Other game systems like Dungeons and Dragons place less emphasis on the day-to-day or recreational items characters could use. Cyberpunk Red embraces the mundane aspects of survival because that's part of how this setting works. In a time of privation, every little creature comfort counts, even if it's just a reminder of how badly the character is getting screwed over by the system they live in. Before going any further, let me dive into some shameless self-promotion. If you're liking my content, please hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the bell icon to get notifications when I drop new content. As a small channel, every like and subscription helps. You can also support me through Patreon. Link for that is in the description below. I post exclusive reviews as well as fiction and poetry excerpts that I'm currently working on. Lastly, I have another channel, the King's Square Reviews, where I post film, TV, and book reviews. Give that one a like and subscribe as well if you're feeling super supportive. Thanks for indulging my shameless self-promotion. Nothing exemplifies the idea of creature comforts in a dystopian system more than the fashion options available to the characters. In my first video, I mentioned the 4 rules of Cyberpunk. One of those rules is style over substance. Doesn't matter how good your character is at something, they've got to look good doing it, especially if they botch whatever it is they're doing. Fashion options appear on page 102 of the core rulebook, and they are meant as fairly generic terms, but provide a specific enough context for what a character is wearing. The different fashion trends are bag lady chic, gang colors, generic chic, bohemian, leisure wear, nomad leathers, Asia pop, urban flash, business wear, and high fashion. The clothing options are further broken down into several categories: bottoms, pants, shorts, etc., tops, jacket, footwear, jewelry, mirror shades, glasses, contact lenses, and hats. Some of the fashion trends are self-explanatory, like bag lady chic, while others like urban flash, Asia pop, or generic chic are less specific. I would encourage both the players and game masters to look up images online that fit the mold of the cyberpunk fashion options to get a good idea of how your character would look. Now, why is fashion important? First, it's a statement about how your character presents themselves to the world around them. If you're playing an exec who walks through the corridors of a powerful megacorporation, you're not going to be caught dead wearing bag lady chic items. If you're a fixer that moves around the various subcultures of Night City to make deals, you're likely to have different outfits like gang colors, generic chic, or even high fashion, depending on the crowd you're going to be running with. The costs involved for each type of clothing item varies from everyday all the way up to luxury for certain high fashion items. I would encourage game masters and players to think about what kind of clothing combinations would be appropriate for the gig or job the characters are working. For example, if you're sending your crew in to serve as escorts for a powerful megacorp executive at a fundraiser event, the crew cannot show up wearing nomad leathers or bag lady chic. Depending on the event, they could maybe get away with business wear or generic chic. If your crew is going out for the night to enjoy themselves, they may decide to visit a more down-to-earth nightclub, in which case bohemian or leisure wear fashion would be most appropriate. Lastly, let's go over how your character can get their outfit and fashion items using the Street Rat or Edge Runner templates. On page 103 of the core rulebook, you will find a pre-generated list of gear and fashion accessories that your character will have based on the role you've picked for them. These are fairly comprehensive and quite appropriate for the role, so I would definitely suggest looking them over, even if you're using the complete package build option, which I'll be covering in my next video. As an example, a media character would start off with the following gear and fashion items: an agent, an audio recorder, binoculars, either a grapple gun or 2 disposable cell phones, a flashlight, a computer, desktop or laptop is up to the player, a radio scanner / music player, a scrambler descrambler to encrypt and protect conversations, and a video camera. For fashion items, a media would start with generic chic footwear, bottoms, and a top, a leisure wear jacket, and urban flash mirror shades. While gear and fashion may seem like unnecessary pieces if you're comparing character creation from other game systems, I find them to be essential parts to building up the character you'll be playing in Cyberpunk Red. Granted, your fashion options don't play an explicit role in keeping you alive in combat, but it helps to flesh out how your character thinks and presents themselves to the outside world. I go back to another of the 4 rules for Cyberpunk. Attitude is everything. If your character is trying to move through areas unseen, bag lady chic or gang colors might help them blend into the background. If your character is trying to make a statement during a public performance, they want to look their best, whether that's in high fashion to show off their newfound wealth, or wearing bohemian fashions to show how down-to-earth they still are. Fashion and gear help to round out the rough edges of a character and give them a style that fits the persona you're building. That covers it for this episode of How to Run Cyberpunk Red. My next video is going to finish up the main character creation section with how to use the complete package build to get your weapons, armor, outfits, and fashion items, as well as explaining the lifestyle and housing options your character starts off with. Thanks again for watching, and remember to hit the like and subscribe to get more TTRPG content when I drop.